welcome to Mepham's annual spring concert. I'm Dana Stone.
And I'm Sophia Tabbitt. What song are you most excited for tonight?
I'm so excited to hear Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. It's just such a good song. How about you?
Me too. That is definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to. I heard them practicing, and it sounds so great.
Yeah, they sound amazing. I mean, going back to how they performed in the winter concert and the winter and spring concert from last year, they're just such an amazing group, and they're so talented. And I'm sure they're going to do amazing tonight.
I can tell they really put in effort. And not just the students, the teachers too.
Yeah, Mr. Branafino and Miss Freeman and Miss Kenyon, they're so amazing with these group of students, and they have so much talent that they're passing on to their students, which is why they sound so amazing. And they take on so many challenging songs that it brings the place to life, and it's great.
Yeah, it really is. And with Iris, I heard there was some solos in it too. I'm so excited.
I know that, especially in jazz band, they have a lot of solos, and from practicing from the auditorium, I've heard that they're just doing so great, and they're so talented.
First off, at 6:30, we have our jazz band and our concert band.
Yes, and then we have the freshman orchestra and then the advanced orchestra. They're all playing tonight, and at different times, but they're all going to do amazing.
They definitely are. What song do you think they are going to pull off?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because I think they're just going to pull off every single one of them.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see them play. They're going to do so good.
Oh yeah, I agree. What do you think is going to go down tonight? What do you think?
I think that they're gonna play so great. They're gonna excel at every song, and they're just gonna show off all the hard work that they put into the show, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah, another song I'm really, really excited for is Free Ride. It's been sampled in a lot of my favorite songs.
Really? Well, it is a good song, and I'm sure I'm gonna burst out into song when they're playing.
Yeah, me too. I am so excited to hear it.
Yeah, me too. Any other songs that you're excited to hear?
Maybe In the Mood.
In the Mood? That's a good song. It's very upbeat, it's fun, it's very lively. I'm sure the audience will enjoy it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a pretty great audience as well tonight too.
Yeah, I already saw that there's a lot of people down there supporting their kids, and not only the teachers and the kids, but also their parents with all their support and work into the instruments that they've learned, and their parents should be extremely proud of them because they're just so talented.
Yeah, I can't imagine how much effort they would have to put in school and out of school too.
I know, they've been practicing for so long. Like, I just hear them all the time coming from the band room or the orchestra room, and they've just put so much effort, and it just is all coming together.
Me personally, if this was my concert, I would be super excited.
I know, but I'd also be super nervous.
How do you think they do that? It's amazing how they can pull it off and so confidently and know all their stuff while still having a little bit of jitters.
I know, coming from a former band student, it's definitely nerve-wracking going up on stage, but once you start playing, it all just kind of goes away. It's fun.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from some of my friends.
Yeah, playing an instrument is definitely a fun experience, and I'm sure that they all love doing it, which is why they're here and ready to show off all their hard work.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to have the passion for this type of stuff, and I could definitely tell.
Yeah, it definitely requires a lot of hard work and years of like building up their talent. So it's exciting.
Yeah, you may think this is just like a one-year course, but most of these kids have been working for their whole lives, and it's super cool that we all get to hear them play today.
Yeah, and I mean, there's new freshmen who are playing for everyone, and then the seniors who are leaving, and it's their last show. It's so exciting that it's like their final show ever after years of hard work because, I mean, they probably started in elementary school, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember going down to see the elementary school concerts, and I was so excited because music just made me so happy.
I remember playing in the elementary concerts. It was definitely an interesting experience.
Definitely, but from that, they definitely grew, and it is amazing to hear them all play and see how far they come from elementary school when they first started.
Yeah, it's definitely it's also a fun family, which is a part that I miss of being in band, and it's just it's such a fun thing to be a part of. It's like a club. It's like a
Yeah,
family.
I mean, they've all probably gotten so close over the year that they've been playing together, and well, I could only imagine how many friendships have formed and how excited they will be to play with each other, especially the seniors who are leaving and their freshmen, which is their second show.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all gonna have a lot of fun tonight, and they should really be proud of themselves.
Mhm.
Cool. Think anything else?
Yeah, I think that I am super excited. That is all I have to say. I think that they are going to do great, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited for the show to start.
I'm also really excited for the orchestra. I love the way violins sound. I think they're so pretty, and I think that it's going to sound really great all together.
Yeah, I love the orchestra. It's so pretty. It's an interesting instrument.
Definitely interesting. I hope they're playing some classical pieces.
I hope so. I guess we're gonna have to find out in a little bit, but that's the wait. But
Yeah, I mean, orchestra is beautiful, band is beautiful, and they all make amazing sounds and songs when they're all together.
yeah, they definitely do, and it's just back to that hard work, how much work they've been putting into this year. So it's very exciting to finally hear what they've been working on.
Yeah, definitely. Again, with the hard work, imagine how much time and effort they had to put into it.
Yeah, definitely tons of work, and I cannot wait to see the show. I can't wait for it to start.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let's go find out.
My name is Andy Del Rosario. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Mepham. On behalf of Principal D. Martinez and the rest of the Bellmore-Merrick Central High School District, welcome to Mepham Spring Concert. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Tonight we are here to celebrate our wonderful music students. They have been working tirelessly for tonight's performance. And before I thank them for doing such a great job, well, I guess I did, good job. I want to thank the music department, Mr. Brandafino, Ms. Demetrio in the back. We have Ms. Kenyon, Mr. Mitchell, and Ms. Friedman also coming later tonight. They have been working tirelessly. I'm sure you've heard it at home. They put in a lot of effort with our kids, and looking forward to a great performance. And without further ado, we have our jazz band, the Swashbucklers.
Thank you again. That was Jackson Goldberg on trumpet, Jackson stand. Lenny Chan on tenor sax, Daniel Decker alto sax, Evan Corman trumpet, Harry Eisenhart on drums. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that song is so fun. Those songs are so fun.
I mean, the genius of Ray Charles was definitely a genius move on their part. It was so good, and their tone and the quality of everyone was so good. I really, really like the way the trumpets sound.
Did you know that it was one of Michael Brown's 5 most iconic songs?
Wow, that's definitely a good choice for them then.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. They're so talented.
They definitely did an amazing job, and I am so proud of all of them. They did great.
Yeah, I'm sure it took a lot of hard work. Those weren't exactly easy pieces.
Definitely not easy, especially Free Ride. That was very, very, very challenging.
Yeah, that's a very popular song. It was like number 14 in Canada on the Billboard.
Really? I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
In the Moon definitely did not disappoint. I was excited for that, and it still passed my expectations, which were very high based on this talented group of kids.
Considering they're high school students, it's definitely very impressive to see what they could do.
Oh, definitely. They are really all super talented.
Yeah, they definitely sounded really professional, and they just sounded so amazing, and you could actually tell what the song was.
Oh, yeah, and they looked so serious, too. They definitely had it down.
I know, for me, I'd probably be laughing on stage, but that's besides the point.
Me too.
But they did so great.
They definitely did do super great.
The jazz band is always so good. It's very upbeat and fun. So yeah.
I'm excited for the concert band, which is next.
Oh yes, the concert band's gonna do great. They're playing a lot of fun pieces, and it's gonna be so fun.
Did you hear that they're playing Africa by Toto?
I love that song.
Me too. I feel
Wow.
like they're gonna do such a great rendition of it.
Yeah, it's based off of by Toto. It's such a good song. I love that song.
And it's definitely not an easy piece.
No, it's not, but it's a very fun song, so I'm sure they had fun learning it.
Definitely. I think that would have been my favorite to learn if I could play an instrument, if that's...
Yeah, me too. I'd sing it instead, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Another song that I'm really excited for is Escape Velocity. I've listened to it a few times.
Well, let's go hear it for ourselves. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mepham High School Concert Band.
Thank you. 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 Than
quick shout out to one of our upperclassmen. We unfortunately have one of our own band members home sick. So Harry Eisenhart is going to hop in on bass drum. So special thanks to him for doing so on such short notice. Thank you again for being here. That was Nicholas Ligori on trumpet. I would like to call attention to those students who had participated in our NISMA festival this year. If you participated in NISMA, could you please stand up? Okay, stand up. You got it. Yep. Give them a round of applause. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for all of your support throughout the year, and enjoy the summer. No, it's too late. We'll see you Memorial Day.
Well,
That was great. I think Mona Lisa, that version was definitely my favorite song. It is so cool how the composer decided to think of a painting, which is one type of art, and turn it into music, which is another type of art.
Yeah, have you ever been?
I wish. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, but I heard it's also really small.
Yeah. What did you think of Africa?
I thought it was so good. I love that song, and they did a great, they did a great version of it, and it was very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, I agree.
What else did you think?
Back to Mona Lisa, I was just blown away. I think that they did so amazing.
Yeah, I do too. I totally agree. It was really impressive on how they did it, and it was such a great choice of music, especially for concert band, and it was just overall really, like, amazing.
Oh yeah, you are definitely right on the impressive part. None of the songs that they picked were easy, and it probably took them a while to master.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, let's head out into intermission now. Hi, we're back, and it is now time for our orchestra segment. It is Freshman Orchestra, which is next, and it is finally time for Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
So excited. It's actually coming up next in the freshman orchestra before the advanced orchestra plays in a little bit. But I'm sure they're gonna just do just as well as the band did.
Yes, there are also some of the band kids that are joining orchestra. The people that are joining are Gavin Steele, Sophia Prasad, and Hunter Jarris.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, that's
That
cool.
is so cool.
A chance to play a little both.
Yeah, I would love that.
Wait, are they doing both, or are they just like quitting one and doing the other?
They're doing both.
Wow.
I know. Imagine having to learn all that songs.
I can never. But
I could
I
never.
guess when you learn how to read the music, I kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah, you should. Gavin is on drums, Sophia is on piano, and Hunter is on guitar, which those are some fun additions to the orchestra.
Yeah.
I
It's
would
gonna
love
make it fun
that,
and
honestly.
exciting. It's gonna be so fun to watch.
Iris, definitely still excited for
I
it.
know. I'm like counting down minutes. I swear.
Me
It's
too.
like it's gonna be so good. You can't really mess up that song. It's just too good to mess up.
Yeah. I'm also excited for Orange Jam and variations on the theme from Greensleeves. I am very excited for those two songs too.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be. I like orchestra. It's more calming than band is. Even though I love band, but orchestra is more like.
Down to earth,
Yeah.
relaxed. Yeah.
I mean, I guess depending on the song.
True. I love the classical feel of orchestra. I still hope they find a way to slide some of the classical songs into it.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure that it will. I'm sure they will. It's gonna be a fun show.
It is definitely going to be a fun show, and I am so proud of all of the orchestra students, especially the band students who stepped up and took some time to learn extra stuff.
Yeah. They should be really proud of themselves. They put a lot of hard work, and now they're adding on the hard work, which is gonna be great.
Yeah, can't imagine how busy they are, especially in school and outside of school too, because like I said before, these instruments do take practice.
Yeah, a lot of practice. It's not as easy as it looks.
Definitely not as easy as it looks. And I am so excited, especially since this is a freshman orchestra. This is only going to be their second show, and back at the winter concert, they did great. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see how much they've improved since the winter also.
Me too. I have high expectations, and I am sure they're going to be met.
Let's go look.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you on behalf of Principal D. Martinez and the rest of the Bellmore-Merrick Central High School District, we welcome you to Mepham Spring Concert. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I would like to thank all of you for coming out. Thank our students for working so diligently on tonight's performance. And a special thanks to our music department, who has been working tirelessly with our students throughout the year. Earlier tonight, we had Mr. Brandolfino. Now we're going to have Ms. Kenyon and Ms. Friedman, our orchestral directors. Later this month, we're going to have Ms. Demetrio and for our choral concert on the 20th, I believe. They've been working tirelessly with our students. You're going to see the fruits of their labor in a minute. And tonight, we're getting started with Ms. Friedman and the freshman chorus.
Thank you so much for being here. My name is Ms. Friedman. This is the Mepham Freshman Orchestra. The students have worked so hard since September, so we hope that you enjoy. We ask that you stay until the end. We have a big grand finale with all of the groups together, so thank you all so much.
name is Hunter Gerard.
And my name is Scarlett Wilson, and I am your freshman Mepham Orchestra class president. The first piece you heard was Orange Jam by Jeffrey Bishop. When learning this contemporary piece, we discussed some of its interesting techniques, including glissandos or slides.
Our next piece is a modern approach to the melody of the classic folk tune, Greensleeves. While it is unknown who wrote this common melody, it was believed to have originated all the way back to the 16th century. We hope you enjoy.
since we have a little bit of a special project that we do every year. The class picks a song that they like, and we arrange it together. I give them all of the melodies, and they go, this should go here, this should go here. And they put together this year an arrangement of Iris by Boo Boo Dolls, because they have good taste. And so we have a few instrument swaps, some people playing their secondary instruments. Hunter Gerace is going to move over to the guitar, and Sophia Prasad is going to play a keyboard. Also, I like to shout out all the students because we're like a family in this class, and it's such a small group, and everybody's sound matters so much. So on the cello, we have Gianna and Logan. On the viola, we have Scarlett and Liam. On the second violin, we have Lachey, Ashmeen, Catherine, Madison, and Ellie. And first violin, we have Aiden, and we had Hunter and Sophia. And lastly, we will be welcoming Gavin Steele. We stole him from the freshman band, and he's going to play drums with us. So please enjoy.
Wow, that was amazing. I did not expect Orange Jam to be like a rocky type mix. It was so cool.
Well, I mean, it does have the word jam in it.
I know,
I'm sorry.
but still.
It was actually surprisingly, they were like really energetic pieces and they were really fun.
Yeah, and I loved the mix of like rock, folk, and everything into orchestra because I feel like that'd be more typically a band move, but I love how they did that.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and if we heard the song we've been waiting for.
We did hear the song we've been waiting for.
It was worth the wait.
Definitely worth the wait. The kids who got added on from band did a phenomenal job, especially since they didn't have as much time to learn it probably, and probably had to learn a lot more other things too.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole lot of hard work that got put into it, and you could just tell by the amazing accomplishment.
I can't believe with all the talent that was on that stage that was just freshmen. That was crazy.
It's really impressive for people who are just starting out in high school band orchestra.
Yeah. I really like the green sleeve. I like the folky type.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big rock and roll person. Are you?
Yeah, I kind of am, but I do kind of like the folk too.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I feel like it was more like a chill vibe, and they definitely used dynamics, and wow, those harmonies that they incorporated were incredible. The fact that people could pull that off is insane.
Just freshmen too, and now I'm excited to hear the more advanced orchestra, which is probably going to be just as amazing.
Maybe even better, and I am so excited.
Me too. Are there any specific songs you would like to?
Oh yeah, definitely. I am excited for the music from La La Land. I love that movie. Did you?
It was a good movie. But the music is good. That's what counts, right?
Yeah. I think that they are going to do a phenomenal job with that, and I am so excited to hear one of the songs from my favorite movie being played.
What? Oh, are you talking about La La Land?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely. The music from that is really good, and I'm sure they're gonna do amazing with it.
Also, I can't wait to hear the orchestra rendition of it.
Yeah, it's cool instruments, so it's gonna sound really cool.
It's definitely gonna sound really cool, and I like "Remember Me" too.
Yeah, it's a good song. I like it.
Definitely is a good song.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear the harmonies because the freshman orchestra had incredible harmonies, so I am excited to see these.
Yeah, me too. They're gonna do great.
They are gonna do great. What song are you excited for?
Probably just the one from La La Land. I'm most familiar with that song, so I'm excited to hear it. It's gonna be great.
And I am still hoping for my classical piece.
One can only hope.
One can only hope.
Maybe it'll come. You never know. They might surprise you.
There are some soloists in this orchestra.
Really? Who?
The violin soloists Eloise Hanula, Catherine Henderson, Brian Prostick, and Angelina Pavlisha are definitely going to do a great job.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they were doing solos, so I'm sure they're going to do a great job. Let's go here.
is Emily Kenyon. I'm the director of the Advanced Orchestra here at Mepham High School. That was Eloise, Catherine, Brian, and Angelina on the violin solo. Give them more hand. So besides our upcoming Hershey Park trip, this is our final concert of the year. And spring concerts are always a really wonderful way for us to demonstrate what we've been doing all year, and it's also a very bittersweet moment for me and I think for everybody because it's the final concert for our seniors. And I've been thinking about this, and I think simultaneously the best and the hardest part of being a high school music teacher is that I get to have students in my class for 4 years. It's the best because I get to watch them grow up essentially for a short portion of their lives, but a formative, very important portion of their lives when they come in as silly, fun-loving, goofy freshmen, and they turn into these wonderfully mature, smart, and amazingly kind young adults. And I get to watch them grow up for 4 years, and we really do become like a little family over those 4 years here in orchestra. And it's the hardest part of the job because it does make it very difficult to say goodbye when we make it to the end of the 4 years. And I think this year for me is, I've been thinking about it, it's particularly emotional maybe because this is actually my 4th year here in the district. And so that means that this graduating class of seniors, they were my very first class, they were my very first students. And I think very vividly about our freshman orchestra class. It was just like 10 of us. It was just violins and violas. We sat in a little circle every day, and we just kind of figured it out. And when I met them, I was at a point where I was still also just finding my footing as a teacher, and I was still very much figuring it all out. And they all taught me pretty much how to do this, and we all kind of grew into this together. And it's been a really, really special time and a really fun ride. And I'm going to miss them so very much. So seniors, thank you so much for 4 years of just warmth and kindness and just the best attitudes ever, and I'm going to miss you all so very much. So seniors, please stand and stay standing when I say your names, and if you could hold your applause until the end. Mohammed bin Tarzi, Eloise Hanela, Catherine Henderson, Tamara Innes, Makani Lamb, Angelina Pavlika, Brian Prostic, Emily Ramdial, and Jenna Schwenk. Those are our seniors. And I just want to say, I don't think a teacher will ever forget their very first class. And I know I'm never going to, oh boy. I know, I know I'm never going to forget all of you. So as a tribute, this is Remember Me from Coco.
Orchestra. Since my freshman year, orchestra has been one of my favorite parts of the day. Learning and laughing together, we've become more than just a class, we've become really a family. I wanted to take this time to thank Ms. Kenyon for everything that she's done for the orchestra program here since she started. Being one of the members of Ms. Kenyon's first ever class in the Bellmore-Merrick district and the district orchestra, I have seen the orchestra program grow around her. Her enthusiasm for music, as well as her never-ending support for her students, has allowed all of us to grow and flourish. Whether it's hearing about what we did over the weekend or just noticing we look more tired than normal, Ms. Kenyon's care of detail extends beyond our music. I'm truly grateful I was able to be a part of the orchestra during my time at Mepham, and I will never forget all the amazing people it has allowed me to meet. Thank you so much for your time. I would now like to introduce our last song, Orion and the Scorpion.
reset for the combined symphonic band and wind ensemble, and then we're going to all combine at the very end for a grand finale, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.
And that was our advanced orchestra. I am thrilled to say that I got my classical piece.
Really? Yeah. I told you that they might surprise you.
Yeah, I love how they combined elements of folk, a little bit of country, if I was hearing that correctly, and a lot of classical. I loved it.
Yeah, they did a great job. You could tell they're definitely advanced.
I also really liked Remember Me. I thought it was beautiful. Coco is one of my favorite childhood movies.
The Disney movie Coco?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. Yeah, they did a great job. I really like the piece from La La Land.
I agree. I think it was so upbeat, and it made the set have really great dynamics.
Yeah, they definitely had nice, they had a lot of talent.
Yeah, their technique was incredible. Especially, it really showed during Orion and the Scorpion. It was fantastic. I loved it. And the way they portrayed Greek mythology was perfect.
Yeah, they they definitely incorporated a lot of cool songs that, you know, have a lot of like history, and it was really interesting to hear them.
Yeah, the soloists on Orion and the Scorpion did amazing. The soloists were Sofia Castrillon on cello and Eloise Hanula on violin. They did fantastic.
Yeah, they're definitely very talented, and you could tell that they put a lot of hard work into their solos and just the music in general.
Yeah, even just seeing them up there, they looked so determined and so focused.
Yeah, you could tell they were really like focused on what they were doing, which is why they sounded so perfect.
I can't imagine how much work that must have taken.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot.
I also really, really liked the Hungarian dance. Like I said, I got my classical.
You sure did, and they did very well with it.
They did extremely well. Their dynamics, again, were amazing, and their tone and technique, perfect.
Yeah, playing those instruments in orchestra are definitely very challenging. So it's really interesting to see how they were able to pull it off.
What I noticed was a lot of the pieces were in very difficult time signatures. They did a great job working through those.
Yeah, working in time signatures is definitely very challenging, especially if you're going at a very fast tempo. It could be, and they did it perfectly.
They did do it perfectly, and I, blown away.
Yeah, me too.
I am extremely excited for the combined wind ensemble and the symphonic band.
Yeah, they have a lot of interesting music coming up, and a lot of different songs, and some I haven't even had the pleasure of hearing yet, and I'm excited to hear them from the orchestra.
Yeah, like Cry of the Last Unicorn. I mean, that was my favorite animal as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
They're definitely
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see Whiplash. I do like that movie.
You know, I've never seen it, but I'm sure that the music is good.
Mhm. I really hope that they do as great as the others, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're going to do just as amazing as the rest of the performances have been going.
They are doing a Korean folk song. Did you see that?
I did see that, and I'm very interested in what that's going to sound like.
That is super interesting. I love how we can blend cultures and perform it at nights like these. It is super cool, and I'm excited to hear and learn about the Korean culture.
Yeah, me too, and it's definitely interesting to learn through music.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I always learn.
Yeah, me too. So,
Mhm.
what else do you think?
I think that they're going to do great.
Me too.
Mhm. They are definitely going to do great. I've never heard of the wind ensemble, but I'm sure that they're going to step up to the plate and
Yeah.
do great.
I'm interested to hear this combination of, you know, ensemble and band, and I'm sure it's going to come together very nicely.
Yeah, I'm so sure. It's going to come together perfectly.
Yeah. It always does.
Always does. And I am super excited to see what they have to offer, because orchestra and like ensemble and band, they're combined. They might sound super different from what I'm expecting, and that may be really great, and I'm super excited to hear it.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely going to be interesting to listen to, and I can't wait to hear all of the different song choices and maybe understand why they chose them. And they just have I'm sure that they have like great like stories behind them, and I'm excited to listen.
I'm super excited to listen, and I'm sure that they all are excited to listen too, especially the audience.
Yeah, let's go see what they think.
Ladies and gentlemen, the combined symphonic band and wind ensemble of Mepham High School. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you again for being here. First, I wanted to acknowledge those students who took part in this month, or over the past month. If those students could please stand up. We have Evan Corman, who I'm totally blocking. Sorry, Evan. Round of applause. Chris Dang, Matt Fulgeri, where is it? Jeremy Dang. Who's the fifth one? I know we have another one. Who is it? Who is it? Show yourself. Eli, there you are. Yep. Eli Cox. Thank you again for being here tonight. And now a word to the radiant, unstoppable Mepham High School band class of 2025, of which we realize there are 25 of them for the class of 2025 tonight. To put it simply, your attitude of open-mindedness and your collective just say yes attitude has invigorated this program. I said it yesterday during one of your rehearsals, and I will say it again for everyone here. I am and have always been extremely lucky to be able to work with you every day, and I mean it. Mepham High School band class of 2025, you certainly have left about 20-25 examples that will be hard to replicate for those following your footsteps. Your enthusiasm, your care for each other, your commitment to all that you do speaks volumes about each of your character. I am forever grateful for you, for the music you have made, and for the time we have spent together. We will miss you here, but it is not goodbye. It's see you later. Please go forth and do great things. Congratulations. Please stand, seniors. Please stand. Our final selection with just our band is a earlier piece. We like to kind of go back into our library, see what we have done over the last few years, find one we've appreciated, and this is Whiplash by Randall Sanders. Thank you all again. Thank you for being here. Please welcome back to the stage our freshman and advanced orchestras as we combine for a grand finale of Swan Lake. Thank you again for being here. Thank you all for being here. Have a great night. Get home safe.
Wow, that was so amazing. And it was so great to hear from both musical groups during the spring concert.
I totally agree. What did you think of that combined finale?
I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was so cool how they came together, even though they're two completely separate types of music, and they came together to perform one piece together, which was really impressive. It was so cool how band and orchestra came together.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Swan Lake is such a beautiful piece.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was such a beautiful piece, and all the kids who were playing did a fantastic job, and it was just really amazing to see. And even though that they are in separate classes, but they came together and performed one piece together.
Mm-hmm. Those wind instruments were on point, though.
Yeah, and they all did so amazing, and I'm still totally like impressed by the orchestra.
What a great way to finish up our spring concert for this year. We hope to see you guys next at our chorus spring concert.